This is how I set up a desk nano tank, which is hopefully going to be used for a betta in the future. The first step is that we need to make our substrate. For this, I'm going to be using a nutrient layer. This is 2 parts gravel, 1 part aquatic compost. We use aquatic compost because it doesn't release as many organics in the water as regular soil. Just give that a good mix, and that can be applied with a capping layer on top. For my capping layer, I just used some sand that I found from one of my old tanks after a good rinse. I've only done about an inch or 2 because the tank isn't very deep. Next is our hardscape. For this, I'm using some spider wood that I also had lying around. I'm just playing around with it until I find something that I like, and then I'll glue it all down. Next, I'm going to be gluing it down and adding some rocks. These are going to stop the wood from floating. These are just a mix of Sirius stone and other stones that I found on the beach. I'm using Aquarium safe super glue and letting it set for a few hours. I'm just gluing contact points from the rock onto the wood. This should stop the wood floating. Next, I started adding some plants. I added a peace lily and glued it to the top. Here I'm just filling up the tank a little bit. This is just going to make it a bit easier for me to do planting. You can see I kicked up the substrate a little bit, but that doesn't matter. I can do a few water changes in the next few weeks when it's cycling. First I'm using some Anubias. These are just going to go straight onto the wood and I'll glue them down. Next, because this is a long tank, I want a lot of open space, so I'm going to be using lots of foreground plants. Here I'm adding the centerpiece plant, which is going to be a tiger lotus lily that I had from one of my other tanks. The nutrient layer is going to be really good for that plant, and it should make it explode and grow. Until I get a carpet, the next foreground plant I'm going to be using is crypts. I've got a lot of these, again, from my old shrimp tank. These exploded in there with fluval stratum, so I've got lots of babies that I can snap off. I'm going to be adding these in between the rocks and just in the foreground in general. These will help create a bit of a barrier between the background and the foreground. And maybe give some shrimp in the future somewhere to graze. Now that I've planted the foreground, I'm going to be using a mix of different stem plants in the background. These should hopefully grow and come forward. These are just cuttings that I got from many of my other tanks. It shouldn't take long for these to explode and multiply in this tank, especially with the nutrient layer underneath the substrate. This is how the tank is looking after 2 days of letting it settle and running a sponge filter. After a few water changes over the next week, it will clear up and it should start looking good, being ready for fish in the next few weeks. I've used lots of different plants growing at the top. I've got a spider plant, pothos, peace lily and another type of lily. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting some updates in the future showing how the tank's doing and when I eventually add fish and trim.